Good morning, gardening friends. I'm out here in my favorite zip up from Traverse City, Michigan. I am a Michigan native, but in my favorite coffee cup. And I thought that I would take you guys on a little morning garden tour since we do live in suburbia. When I do my garden tours, I don't like to do it when my neighbors are watching or outside, because I feel like they'd be like, what is she doing? Like going around videoing all her plants? I don't know. So this was the front bed area before we really did anything, and it was completely bare when we moved in. And the house really did not have a lot of curb appeal. It was kind of ugly. All right, so here's our front porch. So we have a pot of lantana and marigolds, sweet potato vine, and this is in this really cute old watering can. We did have some supertunia in there. I forget what the mix was. It had like pink, like dark pink buds, but then the edges of the petals had like green around it. I forget what the variety was, but the sweet potato vine completely choked it off, so I had to rip it out. But the purple fountain grass is going insane. And then we've got some lemon coral sedum. There was some New Guinea impatiens in the back here in between the sedum and the grass, but pretty sure the sedum choked those off too. So I don't know if I would necessarily repeat this next year. I'm not really a fan of this look. This mountain grass is all the way out here, so this definitely needs to get trimmed. I'm about ready to just rip it out and do fall pots, but I feel bad, like, because it still is looking like it's doing really well. So don't know what to do about that. But anyways, so this bed we said we weren't going to plant anything in here, but we did and pretty much got it done. So we've got some Chicagoland boxwoods, brilliant sedum. We've got some northern exposure amber heucheras, plum pudding heucheras, and then climbing roses. So these on the ends here are transplants from Matt's parents' backyard that weren't getting a lot of sun, a lot of love. They're old plants. They're probably like 15 years old maybe. We even found the tag when we were digging them up. So we'll see if they come back, but if not, and then this is a new climbing rose. Again, I can't remember the variety. Maybe I'll see if I can find it. Here's the new climbing rose in the middle. Isn't that color just gorgeous? But what we did do was prune them and take cuttings. So the cuttings are actually of the canes are doing really well. So if they die over there against the house, then we'll bulk up the plant with the cuttings, and we have some inside as well in a tray. So that was our plan. So what I'm still looking for is some trellises to go behind. This one more wide and a little bit taller, and these ones on the ends narrower and a little bit shorter for those climbing roses. And then over here in this bed, we have more of the Chicagoland boxwoods, the Invincible wee white hydrangeas, and they're looking a little sad because it's the end of the season, and we did just plant them probably about 3-ish weeks ago. So not obviously the ideal time to be planting, and maybe probably won't get any more buds we'll see. And then our salvia, 2 different types of salvia. And then more heuchera. And then our weeping cherry tree. We did just have a guy come out to mark where our gas line is, because we are going to eventually dig in this bed and bury that with a downspout system that we got that actually like goes underground and shoots it out into like a pot sort of in the grass so that it disperses all of the rainwater underneath. But the guy, look what he did. Sprayed right on top of my plant. Like, come on, man. So, and then we've got our hose reel pot here, our Flexilla hose, which is awesome. We love that. So easy to use, lightweight. So we have our hose split off so that the other end of it actually looks like Matt detached it for now, but does go under the fence onto another hose reel on the other side. Those are for a project probably that we'll maybe get to in the spring. But before I go in the back, let me show you the other side of the front. So I just really cannot wait to see what this all looks like when it's mature. I do have 2 hanging baskets too that had Supertunia, like 3 different types of Supertunia, and then Suburbana, which is still doing really well, and they hang like that one got extra dried out, and so I really hard pruned it back, probably maybe a little bit too much, but we want to see if it maybe will flush back. And then this one I think I need to do maybe just a little bit of work too, but they're tired. It's the end of the season. They're hanging baskets. Those typically dry out really quickly, and I think I did not start the plants up on the right foot when I planted them initially back in maybe early May or something like that. That I was not watering them every day because I was like, oh, this soil's too soggy. So I think I really like stunted them in their early development of trying to do roots. And then probably haven't mentioned it too much, but I love this farmhouse look, so that's kind of what I'm going for. And my coffee there on the porch. I can't video and drink my coffee at the same time. Not that talented. But then right here in this open area, we are trying to propagate that bush. So if you've seen our garden experiment video, so we're trying to propagate that bush to copy it over here, and then put some hostas right there. And then this big kind of triangle right here, we want to do creeping phlox. So that'll be right there. So we have to order those bulbs soon, I believe, because we'll plant those pretty soon here in the fall. Here's another inspiration photo. This is the look we're trying to go for. And then that open area by the weeping cherry is also going to have a bunch of creeping phlox. So that's kind of the plan for that. And then over here, this was our first project that we did. Excuse that Menard's pot or bucket. We had it over here because this was part of an old irrigation system that Matt had at the old house in our garden, and it's got a hole in the bottom, so we just fill this up and then it slowly waters this bush. But this whole entire area was our first project in the house, and completely free. Didn't spend a dime on these plants, which that's the way to go. So the hostas and the lungwort we got from, guess where? Matt's parents' backyard. So we split a bunch of their hostas and dug those up, and then the daylilies we had here on the property when we moved in. That was pretty much the only really like thriving, nice looking plants on our entire property. Here's the before photo for reference, and as you can see, none of the plants were even thriving over here. It was bare in the front and backyard. So we split a bunch of those and transplanted them all along here, and then just did a nice like border of daylily hosta. My hostas are bolting. I know some people like that look, but I don't, so I need to get out here and prune these because I'm not really a fan of that. But some of my daylilies are starting to form seed pods, so I will have to come out here and collect those seeds. And until we really did this, I was kind of like not a fan of daylilies, like, but I guess now I kind of am. So yeah, so everything looks really good. The hostas are looking a little bit crispy. Morning and stuff, it gets shade over here, and then kind of starts to get a little bit of sun. So I would say it's like part sun, part shade. But again, these are transplants, so I think, and they came from a very shaded backyard, so we'll have to see if they come back looking probably a little bit better next year. But overall, I mean, you know, end of the season, so everything I would say, considering the heat we've had, transplants, all that stuff is looking really good. This little thing was seriously like 2 leaves when we transplanted it, so that's doing awesome. We do need to get out here and do some stuff with slugs and things, so we'll have to get more on top of that, but overall really super happy. So also, if anybody knows what this shrub is, we have this app on our phones called Picture This. I don't know if anybody, I think that's what it's called. I'll see if I can put a screenshot after this. We use the free version, but you can take a picture of the plant or flower or whatever, and it'll like basically identify it. So it says that it's like a type of viburnum. So before we found these propagation balls, I was going around to the garden centers and trying to see if I could find the same looking shrub, but we'll see. If these don't end up working, what we'll end up doing is just snipping it. And this one was a transplant also from the backyard, and it got hard pruned back last summer, and then it was pretty small when we transplanted, and then like some twigs and branches and stuff on there have died off, so we've kind of just tried to prune it and take care of it, but it seems to be adjusting pretty well. Still green, so. But that is the front yard pretty much. So I will start a new video so I can show you the backyard. One more thing I forgot to show you too. We have this tree out here on the easement. That's our neighbor's car, but it had grass all the way up to the tree, so we made a bed around it, and then we've got gaillardia or blanket flowers. These are like one of my favorites. They're so pretty, and I've actually stayed on top of pruning these, so they have just flushed back a ton. And then I really like this one, so I grabbed some seeds, and then we threw in some chicks and hens in here, so eventually this will all just like fill in like crazy, so I think that'll look really fun.